Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. It's Wednesday, September 15th at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. And I've been having trouble with my lighting again. So that's why I'm a little bit late. I was trying to play around with it and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's almost 11. So then I'm frantically grabbing up all my supplies. So if I look like I'm super glowy, I'm so sorry about, oh, and look at that. It just did it really bright. I don't know. I could stand way back here. No, that's not helping. I don't know. I need someone who can work with lighting to come into my house and help me adjust this stuff. It's always like anyways, I'm going to move on. So welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you to all of you who are joining me live. I see lots of fun comments already rolling in, predicting what I was going to wear. You guys are great. I love it. So, yes, a shade of purple for sure. It's kind of purple. It's not really purple. I was having trouble with it, but I was trying to get as close as possible, and this is all I could find in my closet. Plus, it's like super cold out every morning lately in Minnesota, and then by the time the afternoon rolls around, it's like summer again. It's really weird, but that's the way fall starts kicking in. We are going to share a card today that is a very basic layout. It does require some punches or die cuts for little die cut shapes and stuff like that behind the sentiment label. But if you don't have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or a Big Shot or something like that, you could use punched pieces. You could use die cut pieces that are already pre-die cut, sticker kind of things or whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to show you this fun layout. I got the layout idea when I was searching on Pinterest, and then I put this layout idea into the invitation for my team gathering that we had, and we just held it this past Monday. And so what we do is we take they call them card sketches, and we took this card sketch, and everybody tries to challenge themselves to make a card using that sketch idea. And there were some really awesome ideas that were shared on Monday night. So fun. So this was my idea that I came up with using this sketch. The sketch, by the way, can be found in my blog post that's going to be connected to this video at a little over an hour from now. If you want to find that blog post, you can go to the description in my video and you can click on that link at 12:15 p.m. Central Time or soon after, and you can see that. I do have to warn you that I found some incorrect measurements in the measurement supply sheet that I'm going to share with you shortly, and so I'll have to go into my blog post and correct that. But I'll try to remember to point it out to you. Anyways, this 4-panel layout is just really easy, and it lends itself really well to showing off different kinds of specialty or designer papers. And I have to tell you that I could not find the original source for this sketch, but thank you to whoever designed it. I really love it. We're going to use the Blackberry Beauty specialty paper, Cork specialty paper, Blackberry Beauty designer paper, and then the Cork specialty paper. We're going to throw in some gilded leafing again if you have never seen that in action. But sit back and enjoy. Or you can join in on the live chat if you are live with us right now. So the way you do that is you log into your YouTube account or your Google account, and that allows you to participate in the chat that you can see going on. And if you're not watching this during the live, there's always an area afterwards to comment in underneath the video on a laptop is where I find it. So yes, so yay. And I love it. You guys are tagging each other. You're trying to see if you're logged in together. This is so much fun. Okay, we're going to share the comments from last week's video first. And as I pull that up, I just want to thank Miss Trisha Josephs. Trisha Josephs is my moderator, and she is the one who is there to answer questions for you, help you out. She's like the best ever. So let's give a big thank you to Trisha. You'll notice her comments when they roll in because they have a little wrench symbol next to her name. And so you can tag her by putting the @sign, the A with the circle around it. And then, in fact, she just commented on that. If you put the @sign and then start typing her name, TRICIA, you'll be able to tag her, which means your comment or question will stand out more to her, so she'll be able to see it and answer or reply to you quickly. So thank you again, Trisha, for all your help that you do with us during these lives. These are the comments from last week. There were actually a lot of them that I wanted to highlight. First of all, you can see them as we go. I love the fun comments, the little puns about feeling peachy and a peachy keen project. We highlighted the You're a Peach suite last week. And then we had lots of people who were new last time who were chiming in to tell us that they were new and what was going on, where they were from. I love it. It was fun to see, like planting shrubs and flowers, first time catching you live. What else? Then I asked you guys to comment on what you were doing too. So we had people who were working and who didn't care what their boss thought. Way to go, Carol. Let's see what else. We had somebody who was cleaning out her closet because she had finally reached her goal of losing 90 pounds. So congratulations to Mary. We had a lot of people congratulating her last time. What else? Somebody finished their paper pumpkins, caught up on that. Excuse me. I have a very dry throat. I may be drinking lots of water today. Someone was hanging out in the Colorado mountains in her RV. I should scroll up so you can see all these a little bit better. And then, of course, commenting where you were from. I love to see that we stretch around the world. Switzerland. Patricia was in Switzerland at the time. Let's scroll to this page now. So then we had some questions and comments and tips. Tutorials. Do the tutorials and instructions that you can find on my blog. So I mentioned that the tutorials were the prize last week. Yes, they do come with actual instructions, either written or video instructions, and the measurements. So they're definitely full tutorials. And then let's see, Nancy also asked, do you put your DSP, my designer series paper, that is in the drawers in hanging file folders? Yes, all my drawers that I was trying to kind of show you last week have hanging file folders. And the ones that hold the DSP are longer. They're larger file folders that hold 12 by 12 size paper. So yes, I do that. Sometimes they, you know, if you don't have enough paper in there, they kind of bend and move around, but I keep the cardboard against them. And let's see, Deb said, how does everyone label their daubers? So I have been labeling my daubers lately, and I'll just show you what I do for that. I'm going to put them right on my desk so that I get to those right away. So you can see that in just a second. Let's see. And then I shared the tip of taking and stamping, like inking up your stamps in the clear photopolymer stamps, inking them all up in the case, stamping them onto a piece of paper, and then taking that paper and flipping it over and adding it to this side so that you could see what the words say when, because the words are backwards in the cases now when you put the new photopolymer stamps into the case. It's hard to see the words. So I gave that tip, but then we had some other people chime in. And Beth, thank you for emailing me. So we're going to show that in just a second too. I'll put that on top of my desk. And let's see. I love the tip that Shirley gave. A couple of you did that. I do actually keep my dies on magnetic little sheets. But when I'm doing a live, I sometimes don't think to toss them onto the sheet again. So I do sometimes struggle with finding them. And then you all gave so many tips on my nails. You guys are so sweet. I will take a look into that and see what happens. But thank you for your wonderful health tips and I don't know, beauty tips, I guess. So let's take a look at this again. So what we did last week is we took and inked up a piece of white cardstock with all of so all these stamps were inked up. We've set it on here, rubbed really hard using the help of a clear block, and then we flipped it over and we could see the images the right way because the stamps are positioned in such a way now that you can't really read the words unless you're very good at it or you're younger. But yeah, the scripty words just really challenge me. And so I decided this was a great idea and I wanted to share it with you all. And then thank you to Beth Adams, who emailed me. She gave me some directions, and the directions are like, you know, kind of intricate, but I figured it out. Basically, if you take, not the cover necessarily because they're not in the same order, but if you take this, here, I'm going to grab all my little peaches out of here. If you take this insert and you scan it on your scanner, And then you can take and add it, or you take a screenshot of it afterwards. So you have a photo, like a little screenshot image. And then you add it into a Word document, and you can reverse the image. So just Google how to do it. It's pretty easy to find directions on how to reverse an image on a Word document, how to reverse a photo. And then once you've reversed it, it flips it over for you. So this image here, which is going the wrong way, is now going the right way as far as readability. And then you print that off and cut it out and insert it. And Beth, that's a really great idea for anybody who's more on the techie side, who has printers, scanners, computer stuff. But if you're not that way, take and use the technique I shared last week where you just ink it up and stamp it. These are my daubers, and I'm working hard because they were very unorganized for a long time. But I just took and printed all the names, and I don't have a copy of this anymore, I'm sorry. I printed all the names onto little tiny labels, trimmed them down, and then I'm just taking and wrapping those labels onto my daubers and putting some masking tape on there. If someone has a better way of labeling their daubers, I would love to hear that. So thank you for those of you who ask the questions, who share the tips. You guys are great. All right, I am going to bring in the measurements for today, and we're going to get started. Last week, I forgot to pull up the measurements. I am so sorry about that, until the very end. So if you want to take a screenshot and follow along, you certainly can. Otherwise, wait until the blog post goes live again at 12:15 p.m. Central Time. That's in an hour from now. And you'll be able to print this. Although there are two areas that are printed incorrectly right now. This says 1x3, but it's supposed to be, I'm sorry, it says 1x3 now, but it said 3x4. What was I thinking? Not that big of a piece. So let's zoom in a bit here so you can see this better. Is that better? Hopefully. So these are actually 1x3 pieces. So if you're working with inches, you'll want to follow the imperial measurements. If you're working with metric, you'll want to follow the centimeter measurements. And then we have the supplies listed on the left-hand side. A tip that was given last week, and I'm going to add to it. Thank you so much. And I can't remember who it was that mentioned the idea, but if I just would if I were to take a photo, just one photo from the project that I'm sharing and add that into this sheet, it would help her out a lot. I'm guessing it would help a lot of you. It's just a matter of I didn't have that done before I shared this time. So in future weeks, I will try to do that. I'll also try to put in there, what else was I going to do? The date that I share it, so that if you want to look up that blog post again, you can come back to that date in my blog. Okay, so I'll try to be better about that. But here you go. You can see all the supplies. It comes down to sponge, the word sponge there, and then all the things that are listed after are for the other two cards that I'm going to share that are another variation of the one that I'll demonstrate. So I'm going to share with you 3 cards today that are using the Blackberry Beauty designer paper. Now we're back to the desktop and we're going to get started. So thank you for your patience. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Let's bring in, let's bring in the designer paper first so you can peek at it. So pretty. I, like last time I used this paper, only have 5 sheets of it. I have not purchased another pack of it yet, but I'm running low, so I'm going to have to. Oh my goodness. It's just really, really reflecting the foil, isn't it? My lights are wacko today, but hopefully you can see how beautiful it is. This is the foiled side of the paper. And again, I only have 5 of the 6 designs. You actually get 2 12x12 sheets of every design, and they're double-sided. Let's take a peek at the back side of those. So here you can see lots of kind of fall imagery, right? Fall, this one almost looks wintry, and just, really warm kind of feeling when you look at it. So we're going to use that, and we're also going to use a specialty paper. And the specialty paper is called our cork specialty paper. It's actual cork. Like that stops up bottles and stuff. So this is cork laid out real thin. It's placed onto another thin sheet. So it's not cork all the way through, or it'd be really fragile, but it's adhered onto this really thin sheet, and you can smell it. You can feel it. It's definitely cork. So we're going to be using some of that. In fact, let's go ahead and cut the pieces right now. We're going to need 3x1 or 1x3 sizes. And it really doesn't matter which direction you cut this at. You can stamp on this. You can die cut it and punch it. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see where I'm cutting for those of you that are beginners. So this is our trimmer here. I'm moving it to the 1-inch mark and I'm slicing it. I've already trimmed it to 3 inches. So I've got a 1x3-inch piece here. And then we're going to do our base piece of cardstock. So for our base piece, we're going to be using Blackberry Bliss, which really gets confusing when you were using the Blackberry Beauty Suite. But this is Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and yes, it's a color in the Blackberry Beauty Suite. So we're going to bring in our cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11 size. We're going to bring it into the trimmer, so we're cutting it in half this direction. All right, and half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So we're going to bring up this edge to the top, and then we're going to slide it over to the 4 1/4-inch mark. So let's zoom in a little bit again so you can see that. There's the 4 1/4-inch mark. This is going to cut it in half. We're going to use the dark blade and press and slide, and we can set that piece off to the side because we can use that for another card. Now let's take this piece and we're going to score it. So half of 11 is 5.5 inches. And we're going to use the scoring blade. Now your blade does not come with the word score on it. A little tip, if you want to, is you can take and write on there with a Sharpie marker and then put clear nail polish on top. A tip that I learned from all of you. Thank you. So we're going to press, and now we have a crease in our cardstock that allows us to fold very nicely. The other pieces that we have, and I'm just going to use my bone folder and bring that in and crease. The other pieces that we have are a layer that goes on the inside. Now I did not name my colors on that sheet because I wanted you to apply this idea to the 3 different cards I'm going to share, because this one may not end up being your favorite. I'm having a feeling that the pinkish one is going to be a lot of people's favorite. I'm not sure. Anyway, so this is the secondary color, and you would just cut it to 1/4 of an inch smaller in both directions. So it's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's for the inside layer. Then we have our 1x3 pieces, 2 of each. So designer paper 1, designer paper 2, which is really our specialty paper. We're going to use some ribbon, and we need 12 inches of that. The grid paper is very handy because it actually comes with measurements on it. So I'm just going to scroll out here so you can see. Along the bottom here you can see 0 through 12. We're just going to start it at the 0 mark. We're going to go to 12. You could use your trimmer too if you want. When you're cutting ribbon, make sure you're using scissors that's set aside for ribbon. I always put ribbon onto my sharp scissors so that I will only use it for cutting ribbon. This is our gold shimmer ribbon. We actually have 2 different gold shimmer ribbons. This one is our 1/4 inch gold shimmer ribbon, and then we have one that's 3/8 of an inch, and it's a little bit different look. So you're welcome, Deb. Thank you. All right, so we've got that piece, and then we need a scrap of some of our cinnamon cider. So cinnamon cider is our secondary color. Blackberry Bliss is our primary color. And then we also need some white. So we're going to punch on this. We're going to die cut from this. This is our basic white cardstock. So first, we're going to stamp. Why are we going to stamp first? Sometimes I punch first and then I stamp, but we're going to be using a stamp set called In Your Words. This is an exclusive stamp set that is for a limited time only. It's only available through the end of September. I told you I'm needing lots of water today. Through the end of September, and it's a celebration host set. So how do you get it? You host an event, or you gather up a bunch of people who are going to order, and you all order online together using the same host code so that you can earn this set. You just place a large order, like a $300 order. So any order or combination of orders using the same code or put in at the same time by your demonstrator in a workshop or hostess kind of thing, that totals $300 or more will earn you this set. Again, it's called In Your Words. but I'm featuring it because I just don't want people to miss out on it and not know about it. But you could use other sentiment stamp sets. You could use imagery if you want to. I'm going to show you another card that's a Halloween design where I just used imagery inside the Label Me Lovely punch. So for this one, we're going to use the Fantabulistic image. And inside you can see that they are cling mount. So the cling mount stamps are an improvement to the clear mount we used to have. The cling mount stamps actually have clingier stickers to them. I've only put the sticker, or the label I should say, on my Fantabulistic one. And they're really, they stick, you guys. They're super strong. Now if you don't want to use labels, you can keep them as is without labels, but I'm telling you that if you're used to the old clear mount that didn't stick very well, to try one of these. They work. So they stick really well. In fact, they're super hard to get off. One person mentioned a tip is to just put a little bit of, you know, the powder bag that we used to have for the embossing powders. You can take and dab that on into a corner. You can even take like Scotch tape or a clear tape piece and just put it on the end here, fold it over so you've got like a tab, and that will help you peel it up. Or just use your really strong fingernails and dig under there and grab it. Okay, so there's our stamp mounted and ready to go. I mount them diagonally or non-straight so that I'm relying on the stamp image and not the sides of my blocks to stamp down. So yes, definitely grab up cling mount stamps because they are clingier. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that now with our Blackberry Bliss coordinating ink. Just open the ink pads kind of like a compact. You take and turn it this way, and then you slide it into the base, and you've got a nice stable area to ink up your stamps. Okay, we're going to stamp that down in the corner so that we don't waste our whole piece of cardstock, and it's easier to come in and punch. And then we'll flip our punch over. So this is the locking mechanism here. Unlock it. You don't put your paper in this side, you put it in this side, and you line it up. I guess it didn't matter how I mounted my stamp for that, did it? Well, just know in the future, it's a good tip if you're stamping directly onto a paper that's already set up, ready to go. Okay, so we're going to punch it, and now we've got our label piece. We can set that aside. By the way, if you were going to do a little layer underneath, because that you'll see on my last card, this is a great idea for those of you who've never seen it before. Punch your label, cut it in half in that direction, and then you can tape it underneath so it's separated slightly, but it's giving you that illusion that you have a larger label underneath that's, you know, accenting it. Okay, so there's that. Because you'll see that at the end. All right, then we're going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, if you want to, you can stamp the inside of your card too. I'm choosing not to this time. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I know you love to see the insides of cards decorated too, but this one is a much simpler card, and we want to keep it that way. I can get elaborate. There are videos where I've shared very elaborate cards, but this one's more on the easy side. So we're going to set up our platform now. So we've got our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is our beautiful, and really it's gorgeous, die cutting and embossing machine, exclusive from Stampin' Up. These are the platforms that you get with it. You get 2 cutting mats, you get the die adapter, and you get the large platform. And so you're all set to go. We're going to do platform number 1, die adapter number 2. I'll turn it this way here so you can see the numbers still. Then your scratchiest of your plates. And yes, I've noticed people are commenting. It does help to flip them over, especially your top one. Your top one, if you flip it back and forth, it's going to help to keep your plates nice and straight. Okay, so we've got our clear plate number 1 that's scratchier. We've got our cardstock, and then we're going to bring in these dies. And the dies are called, Beautiful Leaves dies. And this is the one that we're going to die cut. It's gorgeous. Okay, so let's just set that up on here. Trying to use my paper wisely. Okay, and then let's put the plate that's not against the cutting on top. And by the way, make sure it's completely on top of the platform. I almost had it off the edge. Okay, we'll put this on top like that. Make sure that your die cut image is, within the paper. Hold it nice and steady. You can use Post-it notes on top too if you need to. And then you're going to crank the handle. So there's a handle off to the side here that you just crank. And you'll want to kind of guide it in and then move your hand away. Put your hand on top to hold it steady. And then we'll crank nice and hard. And we'll bring it through. Now what I'm going to do is, because this is more of a detailed die, is I'm going to lift up this whole sandwich part here, which is the 2 cutting mats and the paper and die in between, and I'm going to flip it over. So I flipped it over and I'm going to guide it in again. And I may have to guide it from this side so my head doesn't get in the camera here. So I'm going to guide it in again, and this is going to reassure that my cut is nice and deep into the paper, because you can actually see it through there. The cut is against the roller on top a little bit more this way. All right, so we can pull this away and you can see it's die cut, it's ready to go. My gosh, it'll just fall out of this die this time. So we'll take and bring these out of the way. I love that trick. Look at that. It's done. Yeah. But there is a die brush adapter that you can get for more detailed dies if you want to, and you just roll it over the top and it brushes all of those little pieces out. Or just go like this. There. It's all cleaned up. All right. So that's set and ready to go. Yay. All right. We're not going to use this whole thing though. We're just going to use parts and pieces of it. So if you're making multiple cards, you can get lots of pieces for your cards out of this piece here. So I'm going to bring in the finished card so you can see it now, and then we'll assemble. This is the finished card, and you can see here that I've used this section. So we'll just trim these out of here like this. Oops, one more. Cut it nicely, Rachel. Okay, so we've used this one in this corner, and then we used another couple down here, and really it doesn't matter. I think it was that one there. It doesn't matter which ones you grab. That one there, like that. And then you have all of these left to go for a couple other cards, because I actually did make quite a few of these, sent them to some of my team members. So let's layer it up. So for this piece, do you see how those pieces are actually lifted up just like the label piece? So we're going to attach them first with seal adhesive to the back side of this cinnamon cider label piece. And we'll just bring that in. That one's going to go in this corner down here. I'm on my last bit of seal on here, and so I have my container. Sorry, I keep looking where I'm going to go. Right there. I have my refill here, so I can show you how to refill if you've never done that before. So now I've got my label with some stickies, and I'm going to make it easy so I can get it pretty exactly the same way. There we go. So there's that piece, and then this piece, same way. You've got your sticky on the back corner here, and you just put it behind there. Now you have the stickiness that's revealed here. If you want to instead, you can use something like the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, and you can put that directly on the white and then stick it down. Just know that you don't want to go beyond where you're going to attach it. So there's that. And if you want to avoid the stickiness affecting your card, when you put your dimensionals on, just put a couple in that area, and that will help to prevent it from sticking flat onto your card, smushing down in the wrong places, that sort of thing. All right, so what's next? We've got this ready to go. In fact, let's put one more dimensional on there for balance. Hold on, there we go. So now we've got 4 dimensionals on there. That's gonna work. We're not gonna take the backings off quite yet. The first step in total assembly for me is to put the designer paper pieces on. And a little tip to make it work really well is to put the outside pieces on first. So you can see here the pattern is AB, AB, right? So that means we need a cork piece over here. And I also, not that it matters because they're not right next to each other, but I like to have the pattern kind of going, I don't want to have it flipped this way. It doesn't matter though. It really doesn't matter because they're so far apart. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to put some seal on the back. And because these three pieces here are going to equal 4 inches across, you should have some gap space because this piece is 4¼ inches across. So that's why you see those little gaps in there. But if you cut these a little, a little wide, maybe a 1/16 of an inch too wide or something, or maybe your base cardstock is a 1/16 of an inch too short, you might find out that they actually go right next to each other. So that's why you don't want to do much measuring. You want to do more eyeballing. So stick your 2 outside pieces on first. And I'm just getting them right down into the corner with small, like a 32nd of an inch. You can see that there on the sides and the bottom. And then these pieces we'll put adhesive on. I'm going to refill this right now so you can see how to do it. So you just take and pull these 2 pieces apart here. You grab this. Then you open up your baggie. So these are what the refills come in. They're like a little Ziploc-y piece. Let it fall out. And you want to be able to read stamp and seal. That needs to be on the bottom. So here's the bottom where the little finger parts go. You drop this into there and it will pretty much fall in place. Like that. And then you just snap that back on and you're set to go. And then we just have to use our finger to kind of get it rolling first. There we go. So that's the way to refill. If you've never purchased a refill, make sure you're doing that. Okay, we're not going to completely stick this down yet. I'm just going to set it there. And same thing on this side. I'm just going to set it in there. Yes, so in this case, even though I went right to the edge, pretty much, we don't have a lot of wiggle room here. So we're going to just kind of put them as close together as possible so that they all fit in here. It happens. It's just because of small amounts of measuring. So there's the difference between the two. A little gappage and none. All right, next we're going to put on the ribbon. So the ribbon helps to, if you want to get to the same look, when you hold the ribbon out like this, you want this cut to be opposite of this one. In other words, these look like they're both angling this way right now, and we want one to go the other way. Okay? So see how that's cut? I'm just going to come in here and cut this way. Now, we're going to hold on to this one and make sure it comes almost to the edge. We're just holding on to it, and then we're going to come around and we're going to lay it down flat, let this go, and we're going to put adhesive here. I'm putting my adhesive right over the top of the second section. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to push that down, and then I'm going to lift it slightly. So it has this look of angling up and out. Then I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight. I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive over the top of this portion of the ribbon, just so we have some more sticky. I'm going to pull it tight to that part, and then I'm going to angle it up and out again. All right? So this is where it attaches. Nobody's going to see it. It's going to disappear. In fact, let's do that now. So we're going to take the dimensional backings off. Nobody's going to see the wonkiness underneath, right? Much wonkiness. So that just goes down right over the top, and I'm looking at this edge and I'm looking at this edge to make sure that they're parallel with the vertical lines of my card. Like so. Okay, the last step is to add, oh, no, there's another step. Hang on. Okay, we'll put that on the inside. Again, if you want to stamp or decorate the inside, you could put some extra leaves coming out or something like that. The last step is to add some embellishments. Now, you could take and use the metallic pearls, which come in gold and silver, and that would look fabulous on here. Or you can take and do the gilded leafing. which I'm going to demonstrate. I forgot again, you guys. I've done this before. Oh, should I tell you? I don't know if I want to tell you. Okay, for gilded leafing, it adheres to anything that's tacky, sticky, tacky, not something that's going to smear, because I did not have one finished beforehand. So this could smear. I'm not going to actually complete the whole step. But we're going to, in fact, you know what I'll do? I'll demonstrate on a dimensional or a glue dot. That way you can at least see something that's not going to smear, a sticky area that's not going to smear. Okay, so I'm going to stick just a couple little dots here and there. Let's get it going. Okay, so a little dot. And make sure that your dots look pretty good, by the way. Little dot, you know, don't make them smeary dots. Make them pearl looking, you know, like they're little gems in and of themselves. And you could make big ones, you could make small ones, and then you set this aside to dry. Okay, so to get to this step, I'm gonna take some scrap cardstock here, and we're gonna let's just put a little glue dot on there. Sorry. So pretend like these things here, these little circles of adhesive, are the dried multi-purpose glue. Okay? Because that's what will happen. When the multi-purpose glue dries, it's going to be tacky, kind of sticky. And then you can bring in this. And you just take these little sheets and you lay one down and you lay another one down. You just try to cover all those areas with the sheets of gold. Oh my gosh, this is so fun to play with. I love this stuff. And then after the sheets are on there, then you could use your finger if you want to, but I like to use a little sponge and just kind of move in a circular motion. And you can take and see how it's pulling away the excess like that. It's so cool. So that's what will happen with your bits of glue dot that you put on there from the multi-purpose liquid glue. You're going to be able to do that fun little embellishment technique. You could even like write your name and embellish it in gold, right? After it's dried. So let's move this aside. Let's bring in the finished one. This is what it will look like when it's all done. And now I want to show you two other samples. Gosh, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. Simple stamping is a very simple card, isn't it? But stunning. I love it when you can make a stunning card just because of the beautiful papers, the embellishments you put on it, you know, the little accenting and things like that. So here is another one. This one is done with daisy punches. So we have a regular daisy punch, and then we have what's called a medium daisy punch. I'm hoping someday they have a small. This is another sentiment from the In Your Words stamp set. Hope this card makes you smile. And then, instead of using the multi-purpose liquid glue in those areas, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Instead of using the multi-purpose liquid glue, I use the metallic pearls. So you can see the metallic pearls. They're perfect shape. They're perfect coordination with the gold in the paper and with the gold of the shimmer ribbon. But here is where I did the gilded leafing again, because we don't have an embellishment that fits the center of those daisies like we used to. We had some really fun embellishments before that look like daisy centers, but they're retired, and I like to use current product. So I took and I swirled on the multi-purpose glue into the center of my double layered daisies, because these is actually two of them punched and put on top of each other. I set it aside to dry overnight. I came back and I just put the gilded leafing on top, and now you have the perfect center for your flowers. You don't even have to worry about, is it the right size embellishment or not? So there's that one. This is using another paper from the pack, and of course the cork again, okay? Then on this third one, and this one might be your favorite because it's so striking. It's just like, woo! It's really fun. Here is the pink one. And I call it pink because, of course, the polished pink center. But this color here is called Rich Razzleberry. Rich Razzleberry, polished pink, and Blackberry Bliss. These three colors are in these papers, but you don't see too much of this on the metallic-y side, the foil side of the paper, except for this sheet. You have to kind of flip them over to see more polished pink. Let me show those to you. So here's more polished pink right there. So you see it here, and you see just, I don't know if it's even polished pink or if it's a light version of the Blackberry Bliss, but it looks very pinky, right? But on the front side, yeah, it's only on that one sheet with the owls. So I pulled that one in, and toppling over here. I pulled that one in. So I used 2 designer paper pieces for this card instead of the cork this time. Got rid of the cinnamon cidery look. Made the pink the secondary color. This is polished pink again. This sentiment is also from this set. So lots of them fit into the Label Me Lovely punch, which is awesome. And then on the inside I have the pink. Use the gold ribbon again. And this is gold foil sheet. So it's not, so this was cinnamon cider paper. This was white, obviously basic white. But this is gold foil. So you can take and punch or die cut with the gold foil paper. And this is actual die cuts from, and I didn't pull that out. Let me look on the supply sheet so I can tell you the exact name. This is another celebration item that will be gone at the 1st of October. You won't be able to get it anymore. So through September 30th, the In Your Words stamp set and the Summer Shadows dies, which are really pretty. And they coordinate with a stamp set that continues on in the annual catalog. So you'll want to get your hands on them. So that's the Summer Shadows dies. And again, I used the metallic pearls on that. So those are my 3 cards, but I have yet one more to show you. And this other card is, oh my gosh, I am looking so glowy in the dark. This other card that I want to show you is Halloween themed. And it's using the, what's the name of the stamp set? Something cat. Shoot. Something cat. Hang on. Clever Cat. I think it's Clever Cat. Yeah, Clever Cats. So it's using this one here. Aren't those images hilarious? So, especially if you're a cat fan. So this is the cat card, and I used the Cute Halloween 6x6 paper, which, by the way, cuts really nice with this measurement too. So the 1x3 fits nicely into 12x12 size paper, and it also fits nicely into the 6x6 paper. These are the cute Halloween stars that go along with the suite that you can find this paper in. So I've got the orangey color, which is pumpkin pie, and then I've got the black color on there. Use the same label punch, but I did the layering technique that I talked about. This shimmer ribbon is kind of like a sister shimmer ribbon to the gold. It's our gray granite shimmer ribbon, so it has kind of a pinky warm gray tone to it, which is the color I used here. And then you can see how the cat's face, or head I should say, and the eyes, and the box are in white. So I stamped it on white scrap 2 times. I fussy cut around the box only on one, and I fussy cut around the box and cat head on another, and I just stuck the cat head down first with the box, and then I put the box on there so it almost looks like it's popping out at you, like there's dimension to it. So, and that's the inside of the card. You'll see this one on my blog on Friday with dimensions, supply list, directions written down for it. So that one will be on my blog in 2 days. And speaking of my blog, you'll want to visit there, stampyourartout.com. If you click on the home menu item, you can pick the subscribe button and choose to subscribe to my blog, and then you'll get emails every time I share on my blog. So I think it's time to talk about, what else we're going to talk about? We talked about 2 weeks left of celebration. Let's bring the prizes in. So prizes, oh, you guys are still with me. I had to have my comments covered up for a while there. Let's bring the prizes in. So prizes this time are the Halloween papers, which everybody can use, right? So I got a full pack here, and I have a half pack here. I have one of each sheet here. So if you're a prize winner, you're gonna get a half pack of the Cute Halloween designer paper. So you can make some of those crazy cat cards if you have that stamp set or whatever. These are the designs on one side. Colorful, fun, festive, crazy, cute. And then we have the designs on the other side, which are black and white. Fun. I love that. You could even have like a couple of these, like wouldn't even have to be Halloween related. You know, even like this design here isn't necessarily screaming out Halloween. So look at papers when you get them, because sometimes you can use them for more than just the occasion or the holiday or whatever that they were intended for. So this black and white side, you could color with blends markers or Sharpie markers, yes, or stamp and write markers or whatever. Or you could sponge it, use your Dauber. So you're going to get a half pack, plus you're going to get 2 sheets, so 2/3 pack of dimensionals, 2 sheets of dimensionals. And you're going to get some embellishments that were left over from one of the kit cards. So we have this kits collection, set of kits. And I bought several of the one that had butterflies in it, which I hear, by the way, is coming back. But these were my leftover little embellishments from it, and I divide them into 3 packets. So yes, I have 3 sets of prizes ready to go. So Trisha's going to pick 2 winners from the live comments. And the winner from last week, for the after live comments, let me pull up that person's name. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So I'm going to bring that into view here. And congratulations to Kathy Aust. She was the winner. Her name was drawn for the Afterlife comments. She will get to pick from my tutorials. So I'm going to quickly just go to a new tab here and demonstrate. I'm going to click on my blog, stampyourartout.com, and I'll show you how to access those tutorials again. Looks like I'm in edit mode. Sorry about that. We'll just go under classes. Now here I was describing earlier how you can subscribe. Just go to the home menu and click subscribe and you can subscribe to my blog post. Let's go to classes, tutorials for sale. And this is how Kathy or any of you can choose tutorials that you might be interested in. So Kathy, you get to pick any one of those tutorials. Sorry, scrolling. You can see the little thing in the top. It's thinking. All right. Once this is done and I've showed you that page really quick, I'm going to come back and see who Trisha may have chosen for the winners. It looks like she's already chosen some people. Our timing, there we go. I can see it on my comments scrolling here. So for the winners of the Halloween paper, the dimensionals, and the little fun embellishments, it's Bonnie Schinkel and Catherine Miller. Congratulations to you two. Make sure that you reach out to me with my email address. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. So here's where you get to the tutorials, by the way, for Kathy Aust and anybody who's interested. You just pick which one you want and email me. Let me know and I will send it to you. So there we go. Let's go back and we'll take this off the screen here. If you are not a part of my Facebook group, I am going to go live again in about, I don't know, 40 minutes. I'm first going to go to my team page and do a live there. And then I'm going to come to my Facebook group called Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel. Nope, that's not it. Is this it? That one was my Facebook page. Stamp Your Art Out group is my group. And just request to join. I'll try to get you in there before I go live. And then you can see some of the wonderful cards and projects that I've been receiving from lots of people. Team members, viewers, customers, club members. I want to show them off because it's fun to share that creativity with more than just myself. So make sure that you join that group if you're not already in it. And I'm going to try to go live there at 12:30 Central Time. We'll see. But that's my plan. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to share with you before we go. Oh yes, World Card Making Day. World Card Making Day is coming up. That is the first Saturday of every October. It's a national holiday here in the U.S. It might be a North America thing or a worldwide thing. Maybe it's a worldwide thing. It could be a worldwide thing. I don't know. But at least in my little world, it's a holiday. So on October 2nd, I'm going to be hosting a Zoom event. And so you'll want to be subscribed to my emails, my newsletters, so that you can get invitations to that. And it's basically, when is it, Rachel? Let's go. Let's go on to my calendar that you guys can't see right now, but there it is. So it's noon to 2 Central Time. And the way you get in on that is you place an order using a special host code. If you need that information, let me know. but I'm going to be sending out a reminder shortly to my newsletter list so that people can sign up for that. And basically, you just use my host code on an order before the 22nd or by the 22nd of September. And then you get an invitation emailed to you so you can join that Zoom event. We're going to craft together. We're going to work on kits, and we're going to just have fun with paper crafting. So it can be a small order as small as $12. And so sorry about those of you that live global, but I can only, of course, take orders from people who live in the US. But anyways, just wanted to talk about that event for those of you that are in the US. We'll move on. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I've covered everything I wanted to share. I will go live again next week, September 22nd. I'm going to have, I think it's Kayla joining me. Trisha's got a couple weeks off. She's got some things going on. So we will miss her. Mwah. Love you, Trisha. Kayla's taking 1 week, and then my friend Susan Campfield, who is also the person I signed up under to be a demonstrator with years and years ago, is going to take the other week. And so we'll have a couple different moderators next week, but they're both very knowledgeable people who will be able to be there to answer your questions. So join me live on September 22nd at 11 a.m. Central Time. In the meantime, all of you take care, and I'm going to figure out this lighting. And I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye, everyone.